Kia ora, good morning. My name is Carla and you're watching Sew Knit Create and Repeat. This is my knitting, sewing, crochet, spinning, dyeing podcast. It's episode number 20 something today. I don't know what day, what number. Might be 23, could be 22. I can't remember. And today is Sunday the 7th or 8th of October. I've lost track of time because I've been on holiday for 2 weeks. So anyway, I'm coming to you from the east coast of the North Island of Aotearoa, and you're very, very welcome. Yeah, like I said, 2 weeks, holidays. I've been doing Vlogtober for the last week, and today's Sunday. I go back to work tomorrow and I'm finally in the mood to film a podcast. It's wet outside. I was going to take you out to the Archgola and film this in the Archgola, however it's probably too dark, so this is what you get. So without any further ado, we'll start, otherwise I'll be chatting on for ages. So what am I wearing? This is the Halcyon, I'll put it on screen. It's Halcyon sweater, and the designer's name has literally just popped out of my head, so I'll pop that on the screen too. It's not a designer that I'm familiar with otherwise, so that's why. Really easy pattern, really enjoyable pattern, knitted on large needles, and this is a cotton silk blend. It's sewn together. I've said this before, I don't know what the fuss is about sewing up your garments. I just don't know. It's the finishing. I love finishing touches. I love weaving in ends. I love sewing seams, and I love blocking, because that means you're just about ready to have the thing. It stretched quite a bit when I washed it, and the sleeves stretched quite a bit. However, after wearing it for a day, I realised that the neckline was too wide, just slightly, so I just put a few more stitches in each one, and that lifted the sleeve length up. What else can I say? It does have the option to pick up stitches around the neck and knit a ribbed neckband. I did that. I just couldn't get my numbers right, and it ended up sitting up like that. It looked weird. And then when I tried it on without, I was like, oh, it actually looks quite nice like this, so that's how I'm leaving it. Really nice and airy, and I've actually worn it quite a bit in the last week with a black merino top underneath, just on the slightly cooler days. But yeah, I really love it. This is going to get thrashed, I tell you. And I still have heaps of the yarn left on the comb too, so lots of options for other projects in the future. So that's number one. Number two is pretty exciting. This is a crochet project, and it's my very first crocheted garment. It's the first time I've actually followed a crochet pattern, and it's called the Rumours Vest by Iron Lamb. Before I show you, I'm going to say the instructions are so good for someone who has no idea what they're doing. I knew the method of how to make certain stitches, but reading a crochet pattern and knowing where I'm supposed to put my hook when I'm joining into things is beyond me. So she really does do a really good job of explaining as you go. This pattern comes with the option to have a lace up front or just a plain front. I did the plain front. I have B-roll for all these projects too. I'm quite organised today. I had to, I'll show you the garment first. So you'll probably see it floating around on either side of me, prancing around in it. This is it here. You can see where there's a diagonal line where you slip and move your beginning of round each round. But I actually don't care. I'm going to call it a design feature. I obviously needed to tighten something up and I hadn't. So that's it there. When she gives you the instructions for this, she gets you to do a foundation chain, and she gives you numbers for your breast size, and then she gives you numbers for how long the strap. So the strap size length depends. It's like petite, regular and tall, and I went with regular because that's my height, fits into that. But when I got to the point, so you knit or you crochet flat until you get to the point where you're joining the front V. And I tried it on at that point as she tells you to, and it was way too wide in the body and the straps were way too short. So I just pulled it back. And I have to say that's a lot less disheartening than pulling back knitting. And I changed my numbers, and I did enough for a smaller size top with the larger, longer straps, and it fit perfect. I'm really proud of this. I've always wanted crochet garments, and I always thought it was just a bit beyond me. Which is funny because I'm always that person that says to people, oh, just give it a go, don't worry about failing, just try. So that's that. I love this, so I'm going to give more crochet garments a go. What put me onto this particular pattern was, I don't know if you ever watch It's a Sarah. She is where is she? She's in the Netherlands. Yeah, she's in the Netherlands. So, and she does crochet and knitting, and she made one, and I thought, oh, maybe I could give that a go. So I'm really stoked that I did. I'll link her podcast down below. She does 2 episodes a week. Let's write that down. It's Sarah, and then you can have a look because she makes some quite cool crochet things. She's got very similar taste in things to me. Where's my English gone? Sorry. So that's finished project number 2. Now, the next one is the long-awaited Kuutar pullover, I think. It's one of the Kuutar projects by Sari Nordland with the long sleeves. And I knit this for my daughter, and she's let me have it back so I can show you. So this is the finished beast. It's got lovely lace detail on the sleeves. And there. That's knitted in a DK Utuku Corridale yarn by the Wool Company here in New Zealand. And she loves it, but it hasn't been cold enough for her to wear it yet. But I think it's supposed to cool down again this week, so she'll probably be able to wear it at least once to work, and then she'll have to save it till next year. I'm so relieved that that is done. Because every time I like to work on different projects, because otherwise I get bored. But I always felt guilty when I worked on something else when I was doing this, because I felt like I needed to get it done. So if she didn't know that she was going to get it, and it was a surprise, it wouldn't be a big deal, because there'd be no sort of like feeling like she'd be looking at me thinking, why aren't you knitting my thing? So that's that. So Jess can have that back. So she's stoked. And it was ready at block dried just in time for her birthday. So that was brilliant. The next knitting finished project is my Migla shawl, and I'm really proud of this. I love the colours. The Migla is by Anita. Maybe I could get a thumbnail like that, like a dork. I made these little tassels to go in there. And yeah, I might have a couple of nice cold days where I can wear this at work this week. It's quite nice. It's very pretty. So I love it. There's not much I can say. The purpley colour is Dark Harbour yarn. She's a indie dyer in Wellington in New Zealand. And she does beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that's I think it's a merino silk blend from memory. The colour is called Shanty. And the greeny iridescent trim is a Malabrigo Machita and I think it's called Araquita. Araquita? Yeah, I think it's something like that. So there you go, a pretty. Oh, it's really lovely. Like I put that on and I feel pretty. Funny, eh, how clothes can make you feel like that. So there's that one that can go there as well. All these things can get packed away now. Then during holidays I just wanted to make a few garments, and I did manage to crack out two. So there's this one here which you'll see some b-roll for, and that's, I've already made the stripy version. This is the Anita peasant blouse by Style Arc, and it's a really simple, easy to whip up pattern. It's got elasticated cuffs, nice baggy body, and you can wear it tucked in or loose, you know, whatever your preference is. So there's that one, and that's made with a crosshatch linen that I purchased from Draper's here in New Zealand. It's a nice lightweight summer linen, beautiful soft pink. And there's one more finished object, and you'll see some more b-roll. And that's the second pair of my Chantarelle pants. So I'm currently wearing the black needle cord version. And this is viscose linen twill. And it's just got that beautiful shine. The waist has the elastic in the waist, you sew it in and it gives that nice doubled, keeps the elastic from rolling too. It's got pockets on the back. And then, like I showed you with the other ones, they've got little pleats in the hem at the feet. So yeah, nice slinky garment. Just got to the point in my life now where I'm just not going to stop making things because I'm not the weight I want to be. This is going to be me. So that, my dears, is all my finished stuff. And now I'm going to show you some things I have been working on since then. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a very, very old whip. Now I had a look back and I purchased the pattern in December 2021 for this, but I think I held off casting on for a little bit because I had some other big projects that I wanted to get out of the way first. And this is the Ponderosa sweater by Wool and Pine. there's that many cables on this. I was getting so put off. So I just put it aside, and I pulled it out the other day after I finished all those Jess's garment, and finished the cabling, and it was so easy. I don't know why. It must have been just where my head was at the time. So I now have a front panel. And look, it wasn't that much that I had to do to finish anyway. So that's where I was the last time I showed it, and then I only had to do that much and do some ribbing. Bear in mind that this is going to block out quite wide, and it's sort of semi-cropped because you're going to be wearing it with the whole design is got slightly higher at the front, and then you block it so that it drops down at the sides. And I'll be wearing it with dresses. So this is using Kiwi Yarna indie dyed wool. It is a high twist merino, and I think the colour is denim. And I'm alternating skeins so that I don't get too much colour pulling. So here's the back. So I've done that as well. Hopefully you can see the colour all right with that. Really enjoying that actually. So yeah, pulled out from the archives. Yeah, it's a piece together garment, so like I said, sewing does not bother me, obviously, because I sew. I actually quite like hand sewing. And then the next whip I've got is a sock. So I was a tester for Kelly Menzies Viola Sand socks, but then I'd finished this. My hands were a bit sore from the small circumference because I'd done quite a bit of sock knitting recently. And so I put it down and I started Jess's Kuutar top, and I just really wanted to get that done. So I put these aside. So that was the one that I completed, washed, blocked for the test. So I just had to do the second one. So I was only on, I think I'd only done like half of the rib. So I've done the half the rib, and I'm like round 8 of the pattern. So I'm starting that, and that's knitted in my own hand-dyed sock yarn, which is just like a 75-25 merino nylon mix. Yeah, so here's that one. Over the last few days, I need to remind me to talk to you about socks. Over the last few days, I have been knitting monogamously on something else. So last year I purchased some linen. Oh, my brain. Purchased from a Facebook de-stash page some Quince & Co. Kestrel, which is a linen that's like a chain. Is it chainette? You know, when it's kind of woven into a chain. And I purchased 7 skeins, and I went on Ravelry and I was hunting for patterns that used that particular yarn to kind of get an idea of what kind of gauge I'd need. And I just couldn't find anything, A, that I liked or that I had enough yarn for. So Evan said to me the other day, just casually, he says, oh, it'd be about time that you'd start designing your own stuff, wouldn't you? And I just looked at him like, I'm a knitting podcaster, I'm not a designer. I said, no, I've got so much to learn still before I go doing that. But then I thought, with this, I thought maybe I could just have a go at just whipping something up for me with some of the skills that I've learned. So I present to you, let me just try and, you're not going to see it properly really because it's the needles, I'm on 80 centimetre needles and so it's going to be a bit scrunched up. But I'm just knitting a striped tank. So just trying to grab the tops of that and that so you can get an idea. So all I've basically done is I started off knitting 2 triangles. Each one I started with an I-cord. I did a provisional cast on with a crochet chain, and then I did the slip stitch sides so it looks like just a nice sort of I-cord edging almost, joined together with a cable cast on. I just sort of calculated the gauge, my size, and just sort of jimmied some numbers. The back is the same, but the little triangles, so it'll sit lower. And when I get to a certain point in the body, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up, undo that crochet chain, do the I-cord, and then Kitchener it to the back I-cord and just play around with the strap length. But I just want a bit of weight in this first so that I can see how far, like how much it'll stretch. I have got, so I had 3 skeins of this pale grey blue. It's called Porpoise, if you can see that, and you can see the texture of the yarn there. And then I had 3 skeins of, and these are only 50 grams, 70 meters, of this one, which is terrapin. I think it's terrapin. Yep. And then there was 1 skein of this one, and I don't know where the tag is, so I'm sorry, I can't remember what the colour is, but it could be petrol. It's just a bluey grey, very dark bluey grey. So 1 of those and 3 each of the others. So I decided to go with just knitting a band until I've used up a ball. I've still got some of the pale left to do the straps, but I thought I'd just knit until I've used up the entire ball, then change to, I'm so terrible at explaining things. So all I'm doing is I'm separating those bands with a thin blue, dark blue stripe. And depending on how long the body gets to at the end, I might use that for a bit of ribbing at the bottom or whatever I choose to do at the bottom. Sorry, I just had some dry skin on my nail and on my thumb. I needed to break it off. And I'm using 5.5mm needles. And I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, so that's my little doodacky project. It's just an experiment really. I mean, I'm the only one going to be wearing it. It's not like I'm designing it for other people. So that's really what I've been up to craft wise. I have started a gauge swatch for the Rococo top, which is very similar to the Kuutar top that I knitted last summer by Sari Nordland. And I'm going to use, there's a tissue in there, Sanders Garn Tin which is linen. Hang on, what is it? Cotton, viscose, and linen. There you go. I purchased this off Etsy off a lady from Latvia, but it took quite a long time to come. And I purchased it to make the Kuutar top. So I decided to start knitting that in Quince & Co. That was Kestrel. What was the other one? It was a Quince & Co. anyway, and that was another one I got off a D-stash. So yeah, so that's going to be my next. But I thought I kind of got into that little self-drafted one, so I will start that when I've finished that one. Oh dear. So that is all my crafty goodness. I wanted to mention something. So, as you know, well, you might not know, but you do now because I'm telling you, October is Socktober. So I'm going to do a massive plug for my friend. She's not sponsoring this. She sponsors me in love. Her name is Kelly Menzies. A lot of you already know her because a lot of you came over to my channel from hers. If you don't know her, you need to know her. I will link her YouTube channel in the description. So she's running a promo of buy two, get one free from her sock catalogue on Ravelry. And I just want to say, like, her patterns are just so beautiful. I mean, look, you guys have seen all the socks I've knitted this year. They're just beautiful. They fit well. She's got a great eye for detail. She won't put out a pattern unless she can put multiple sizes out so that they're size inclusive for everybody. She really does put a lot of work into them. They're not just socks. Her patterns are so easy to understand. So if you're sitting on the bench about trying to make attempt a sock because they look complicated, she holds your hand, she explains why you're going to do something. She makes her patterns extremely clear and easy to understand. And she's always there if you need to ask her a question. Particularly, like, if you go to her YouTube channel, you like what you see, join her Discord group. We're all in her Discord group. We just have so much fun. We have got a lot of laughs, a lot of discussion about different things, and she's always there to answer your questions about her patterns. Okay, so that's Kelly Menzies of Row and Cades. I'm going to put her details down here, and I'm going to put her details in the description. So go and take advantage. Yesterday I thought I would share some of her patterns on Instagram stories just to promo them. And I found one when I was going through. I was like, I don't remember that one. Why don't I own that one? So I ended up buying another pattern. So now I've got a fair few of hers to catch up on, because prior to this year I'd only knitted one pair of socks, and that was one of her patterns last year. So yeah, go give Kelly some love. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. If you want to know more life stuff, just hop on to my vlogs. You'll see what's been happening. We've had a lot of stuff going on outside. I've been trying to catch up around the property over the holidays, but back to work tomorrow. Yeah, So thank you for coming to see me. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Although if you've got this far, you probably already are subscribed. Okay, so take care. Ka kite. Mwah. Love you.